What else can we see on here? Well, as I've turned this into a noise at work summary for the moment, what can I see? I can see the start and end time of my measurement, the duration, the instrument, the serial number and model number, the calibration before and after. All of this information will appear on every report you ever produce in our software. We have our basic values for noise at work, which is the LAEQ, the LCP, we've got C-A, LEPD, LAF max. If some of these terms are new to you, when we send you out a video of this next week, we'll pop you out a terminology guide as well. The LAEQ this is the most important one, that's your averaged value over the course of the measurement. And the A weighting is to replicate human response to sound. And I suppose the peak's quite interesting, that's bangs and thuds, that's impulse noise. Now this measurement was 7 minutes long, but it has projected exposures. And this can be very useful if you're taking a measurement and you know somebody's carrying out a task for the next hour or so. Take a shorter measurement than that, you don't want to stand there with the sound level meter for an hour. I would suggest you buy a dose badge and pop a dose badge on. But if you monitor them for 5 minutes or so, give the software something to work with. It can extrapolate and say, well, that person's exposure is going to be in an hour or 2 hours or so on. Down here, we have our LAEQ and LCP graph, and we have our first octave data. We like to use fancy words in acoustics, but for octaves, it just means frequencies. If I were to change this summary to an environmental one, I get my LAEQ again, my LAE, which is all of the energy of the measurement condensed into a second, LAF max, level A weighted fast maximum, and statistical values, which we looked at a little bit earlier, where you can create your own statistical value, but these are the most commonly used ones, and they are already monitored for you as soon as you press start. We also have our LAEQ and LAF max graph here at the bottom, and our third octaves as well, which is between 33 and 36 bands, depending on the makeup of the noise, whereas the first octave bands, which are used for hearing defense selections, that's 10 bands in the middle of the frequency range. So, what else can we see on here? Well, we have attach a file, so you can simply click on here, pick something from your desktop. I like to put it on my desktop because it annoys my colleagues in IT. What might you attach? So if you're doing environmental monitoring and you take an issue with a construction site, you have to abide by the rules they were given. You sent a letter to them saying that you need to address this. I know you'll keep a copy of that letter, of course, but it can be nice to attach it to the measurement that brought you to the decision detailed in that letter. If you're on holiday and a colleague needs to pick up this, if they click onto the measurement and you've already attached your response to the measurement and they're following up in your absence, it can be quite a useful thing for them. If you're doing these at work and you've put a dose badge on somebody for a full working day, it can be useful to ask them to fill out an activity sheet. So between 10 and 11 hours of this, doing this, between 2 and 3 hours doing that, and you can attach that to your data set, which can be, again, just a useful thing. I understand you'll keep this information elsewhere, but it can be nice to attach it to a measurement that you've then based decisions on. From here, you can add a picture, and it always jumps to my second screen. So you can browse for pictures or find pictures on your desktop with your company logo on there, put a picture of somebody wearing a dose badge if you're so inclined. You can also play a voice tag. So if you do use that voice tag at the start of the measurement to remind you, so if you've forgotten the order, you've done 50 measurements, you can't remember what you did in your order, which is fair dues, I'd be the same. You can play your voice tag.
Richard, Source Research, using lovely voice tags.
There you go. As long as you don't mind listening to your own voice, it's just about tolerable. And then you can actually populate these boxes instead of a point of download. So if you do have several measurements, you can't remember them, listen to your voice tag and then detail your measurement here.